Of the movies Marvel's made this year, Thunderbolts is the best one. Thunderbolts was really good. Thunderbolts had heart. It had really great action and stuff. The Fantastic Four felt a little hollow to me. Yeah. And because I've thought about Superman since I've seen it.
Yeah.
I have hardly thought about Fantastic Four since I've seen it.
All right. We've both seen Superman and Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Which both have longer titles than that, but we're not going to do that yet. Let's talk about these movies and what it means for Marvel, what it means for DC, and what it means for us as the viewer. You loved Superman more than Fantastic Four.
I did. I've seen Superman twice now.
Oh, okay. Talk to me about what made this one so much more of a better movie than Fantastic Four / just such a breath of fresh air, like you already told me over text, 4 movies.
Yeah, we'll do it in reverse. So it's a breath of fresh air because for a lot of reasons. Firstly, our last exposure to Superman as a character was from Zack Snyder. I loved the Man of Steel, I didn't hate Zack Snyder's whole take on the Justice League kind of stuff, but it wasn't as good as what Marvel was doing at the time, but it was just like tonally, it was dark, it was brooding. It was just like, I loved Henry Cavill as Superman. I thought it was a great choice, great casting choice. But Snyder's take on Superman was this dark, brooding god who just like couldn't figure out he was an alien who just like couldn't figure out how to fit in on Earth. And he just like brooded about it all the time. It was just dark and it was cynical. And it was like, I've got all these godlike powers. How am I supposed to use them to like, And then he sits in a courtroom while everyone blows up around him and dies. And he's just like, And so our last exposure to Superman was just kind of like this kind of dingy, dark, brooding figure. And what James Gunn has given us is the exact opposite, which is very bright, very optimistic, very fun. And like, it's he's a person who loves being human.
Yeah.
And that's so bright and refreshing and optimistic. Like, I remember the first time that I saw it, in the trailers, there's that scene where Superman flies through this crevice in the ice and does like a flip. He twists, he does a corkscrew, and then he's just got this smile on his face and he just keeps flying. People hated that. Well, I should say a lot of people hated on that because they were like, it shouldn't be this fun. He shouldn't be having fun like this. His face looks weird. And like, they didn't like the cinematography and stuff. But I remember watching that scene in theaters and just being like, oh, this Superman loves being what he is.
Which was nice.
So clear. Yeah. And it's so clear in his character, his being Clark Kent and in his being of Superman, that he just loves being a human being.
Yeah.
And it's just so nice to watch on screen, where we've just got so many stories that are just cynical about being alive.
And especially when it comes to Superman, which is just a difficult character to get right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice for him not to be the, oh, I wish I wasn't this, or oh, I wish it wasn't here guy. Instead, it was like, no, he likes to do the right thing. He enjoys being Superman to an extent, but he does enjoy being human, like you said, even more than just being Superman. He enjoys his day job, and he likes sitting down with his father and probably watching a football game, whatever
and
else.
Eating cereal on the porch.
And eating cereal on the porch.
Breakfast for dinner.
Yep. Their favorite meal. That was pretty great. I was like, all right, yeah, Superman French toast for dinner. That's fun.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I think also what they nailed is just not just a guy who loves being human, but a guy who loves being good. That like he's not tying himself into knots about what is the right thing that I should be doing. He knows what is right and he just does it, and he'll suffer the consequences afterwards. Like, that kind of hits right in my Mormon heart, that primary hymn, do what is right, let the
consequence follow. Yeah.
Where, because I think this was also in the trailers, that interview between him and Lois Lane, where like he gets really heated. He's like, I'm not representing anyone but myself. Like, people were going to die if I didn't step in and do something. And I'm like, oh, I love this. I love that, like, his calculation of morality in the world is people are alive right now who would have been dead. And if I it's very Spider-Man in his like great power comes great responsibility. If I didn't step in and didn't do something, it would have been my fault if something bad had happened. And I just loved that, like, his commitment to being and doing good in the world is unquestionable. That he's a paragon in the way that Captain America is a paragon of virtue and goodness.
Yeah.
That, like, you can trust this guy with ultimate power because he's fundamentally good.
Which, even though I have struggles with certain superhero movies or plotlines or characters because I kind of love flawed, fallen heroes, whatever else, not putting people up too hard, Superman is good to be this person. It's good
Yeah.
for him to be the flawless, not morally gray, like pure good. Because there are some
Yeah.
of those people out there, you know, or what we would hope to be, and that's kind of what he stands as the symbol for sure.
Yeah, because it's not in this movie. You get the other stuff, you get Hawkgirl, you get Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern, who are
Yeah.
these, like, very much in it for the ego. They're kind of dubious. Are they heroes? Are they mercenaries? Like, what are they? Are they doing it for the love of the game, or are they doing it for the love of the fame? Like, hard to say, right? But what is so clear is that Clark Kent, Superman, he's doing it because he believes the goodness should be done. And I mean, they're just some, like, really good scenes where he saves the dog and then he blows the dog out from underneath the foot, or where he saves the squirrel. Like,
Yeah.
what a cute little weird little scene to include in that, but so important. And then the one where, like, he catches the building from falling on the lady in the car on the bridge, and then she gets out of there, then the building collapses, and then he's just standing there in the sunbeam in the cloud of debris and rubble, and the music
Yeah.
swells, and it's just like, holy shit, this is what I needed. Like, this is giving me fuel to keep living.
And also, it was such a different tone than Zack Snyder's moment of Superman silhouetted over the sun, where he feels more like God, like
Yes.
second coming God. Oh my, look at this great being coming down to save us all. This felt different of like, oh, he's doing what's right. Yeah, he's doing what's right. He protected the lady, and it was a little bit of Americana if we're just going to go there. I
Yeah.
picked up on the cues because she was driving a Volkswagen and it died, and I was like, all right, come on. Come on. If it was a Jeep, it would have been dead minutes ago. Like, don't even give me this. But regardless, it was a pretty heroic, sweet moment of like, okay, this is our Superman. Yeah, he's going to
Yeah.
stop and make sure no one dies. Compared to Zack Snyder, again, not shitting on it. I thought they were fine movies, but not my favorite. He was causing a lot of destruction and didn't seem to mind, you know, like Metropolis is torched at the end of that first movie, where this is like, no. He wants to pull everything together. He wants to save even the one lady in her car. It was nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, like, this asks the question of, like, what do we need movies to be for us? Because, I'll give it to Zack Snyder. The Man of Steel, the level of destruction in Metropolis, that is realistic.
Yeah.
If you get two gods battling in a city and they're, like, immeasurably strong and they're flying, like, that is what is actually going to happen.
Yeah.
But is that what we need to see?
No.
No, we need to see, like, comic book movies are like the new mythology, the new, like, we need, and, like, when we talk about this, when we talk about sacred texts, which is that stories are mirrors that we see ourselves in, and we need certain stories in order to see ourselves in a certain way. And I don't think movies need to be realistic all the time in their portrayal of events, because we already live in reality. I need a movie that inspires me to be better than what I am. And, like, based on the, the 2 weeks after Superman came out on TikTok, it was just a bunch of people saying, like, oh, I just want to be a better person now. Like, I'm a punk rocker. Yes, I am. Like, that's the whole thing. It was just like a bunch of people being like, this movie gave me permission to be as good as I want to be. And that is a tremendous sign of a good movie. Like, one of my absolute favorite, like, moment in this is where, Clark Superman, whatever, he's, just coming back into his apartment, and the Justice Gang are fighting that kind of, like, luminous jellyfish guy out, beyond,
which was beautiful.
Lane is there. It was so cool, But he's just kind of sad because his whole story of himself is being challenged and shattered, and he's just trying to, like, figure out who he is again. And Lois is just like, Clark, I'm suspicious of everyone that I meet, but you believe in everyone. You think everyone you meet is like the best thing in the world. And she's just like, you see hope in everyone. And he's like, maybe that's the real punk rock. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel seen. I feel heard. Like maybe the real punk rock is being good, because
Yeah.
being good is good. Being good is like self worth it. It's like self fulfilling. It's good for its own sake. That
Hmm.
was like my favorite moment from the movie. And like, could the action scenes have been better? Maybe, you know,
Yeah.
like I loved the flying, the flying sequences were really great and stuff. But like, could they have worked on the action? Could they have worked on the choreography? Probably. It's not a perfect movie, but it nails these small little optimistic, hopeful beats where Superman is supposed to be a symbol of hope for people, and they nailed that.
Yeah, it's funny because my frustrations with it here and there are minor, and we don't really have to go into them for the most part. I thought some of it was a little cheesy, or there were some things that I just like I didn't love for what I was looking for. But again, the portrayal of Superman and the themes and the tone was exactly what we need. And I think we all kind of know this as the world gets in a rougher and tougher spot, we don't want to watch rough and tough all the time. Like,
Mhm.
why were the 2008, well, even that was rough, but regardless, 2010 through 2016, we had a lot of like depressing ass movies. We had our Spotlight, we had a lot of Zero Dark Thirties, we had a lot of movies that were just like hard emotionally and able to kind of dig into some dark and deep parts. Now that the world's in a rougher spot as far as we see right now, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch the cynical Superman. I don't want to
Yeah,
watch like, oh, this guy's morally gray and he's probably got his own problems too, and he's also a bastard. Like, no, that's our president. That's too many people around us. I need something that is more mythologically inspiring,
yeah,
and for that reason, you have to give Superman his flowers and say, yeah, you know what? Like, it nails what it needed to be. It needed to be something exciting and fun and bright and colorful
yeah,
and a little cheesy and goofy and campy. Like,
yeah,
okay, that's what it needed to be. On the flip side, Fantastic Four, I think, is what Marvel needed right now, but it's a little different tone, and I also don't know that it does. Not that it had to, but it does not do the same thing that Superman does.
no,
I think in my mind, I liked the dialogue and maybe the movie itself a little bit better, but it didn't stick and it didn't say as much, and it was just like, okay, it was a movie. And by the time you were done 2 or 3 days later, I haven't thought about it again, except for us talking about it on the podcast.
yeah. And because I've thought about Superman since I've seen it.
Yeah.
I have hardly thought about Fantastic Four since I've seen it. I mean, good movie.
Good movie.
It's a good movie. Like, it's a good cast, good movie, good writing, good
Yeah.
music. Yeah, I mean, I think of the movies Marvel's made this year, Thunderbolts is the best one. Thunderbolts was really good. Thunderbolts had heart. It had really great action and stuff. The Fantastic Four felt a little hollow to me. It felt a little flat. And maybe not hollow in the same way that like Jurassic World Rebirth was hollow, in that it just was kind of an empty shell.
Yeah.
But I think for me, my number one thing, it was just like, there were no character arcs. The characters
No.
ended exactly where they started,
Yeah.
all of them. And there was really no emotional growth or development for anyone. And I wanted more, like you're just watching a movie where things happen. If your characters don't have character arcs, you're just watching a movie where things happen.
It was so plot heavy, but not like confusingly or annoyingly plot heavy. But I understand for Kevin Feige and co. It was a pretty gargantuan task to say. People kind of already know Fantastic Four, but we have to catch them up on how we're doing it in this iteration to get them their powers. They kind of know the dynamics. We have to show them more of the dynamics. They kind of know it's a different Earth, but we got to like really showcase it. There were so many things that they had to do to get this off the ground and have them join the rest of MCU land that it did feel like they were checking a lot of boxes of like, went to space, check. Gamma radiation, check. Mr. Fantastic feels bad about it, check. Okay, reads this. It was just a lot of like, okay, I saw the 2000s movies. Maybe the younger kids haven't. Maybe they don't know the story. But It was just a lot of quick plot, almost like a TV movie picking up of like, oh, it suddenly is Halloween. Sure, it's Halloween. It may be July, August, but okay, it's Halloween. Why? I don't know. Okay, there's a baby here. I had no idea they ever had a baby. Oh, Galactus. Don't know who Galactus is or why this is important. He seems huge. It's a Godzilla movie? No, okay. It just was better written in my point of view, a little bit, but not as interesting of a movie.
No, I mean, still good. Like I
Yeah.
think like nailed the Silver Surfer. Some
Oh
of those
yeah, she was great.
visuals of the Silver Surfer flying around, like
Yeah.
actually surfing on lava, surfing on black hole stuff, gravitational waves,
Hmm.
amazing, so
Yeah.
cool, so cool. Galactus, I thought they did a really good job with Galactus because like I've read the comics, I know who
Hmm.
Galactus is, like I know what his whole deal is, and like I thought they did a really good job with him, especially that first where they're like in the Galactus's ship and then like they're like just there on the edge and then you just see this giant silhouette in the background and then his eyes turn on and they just glow like
Yeah.
straight from the comics, just like really well done. Yeah, but then like it's kind of exists in this like techno optimism future. Like the entire time I was expecting like a twist to happen,
Yeah.
for like some kind of a twist to be like, oh, they're actually caught in like some prison, mind prison of their own where they're like these celebrities in their own mind prisons, but in reality they're like caught in a Dr. Doom machine or something and they're like
Mm.
being like trapped in some simulation that exists to like ensnare them in their own stories or something. Like I was just expecting some kind of the other shoe to drop or a twist to happen in the narrative because it
Yeah.
just felt like like unearned optimism of just like, oh, so these guys are the world's heroes and like no one questions it and like how does this whole thing work and run, like the Future Foundation. I don't know, just it felt like the bow was just a little too tight on it, and it's
Yeah.
not necessarily in that sense where like you need your heroes to be gray or dark, like we just talked about with Superman. It's fine for them to be colorful and optimistic and all that kind of stuff, but like I need I need character arc. I need growth. I need
Yeah.
development. I need their stories of the worlds to be challenged so that they can either change the story or change the world. And it was just like the characters ended the movie exactly how they began the movie. And I just wanted a little bit more.
Hey, look, the thing said it's clobbering time. That's all we wanted the whole movie, or so they told us to believe.
That's
It's
true.
strange. It was strange. It was strange.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
But like great characterization,
Great
like the
characterization.
Thing,
Yeah,
amazing. Like
he had a
Human
beard.
Torch, Johnny, really good. Like Sue Storm, like Pedro Pascal,
Uh
loved
huh.
him. Great characters. I think the casting was great. The writing was good. And like all of it, it just like I wanted character growth.
And we did not get it.
We didn't get it. Is it too much to ask for?
Sometimes it is, apparently. I guess the other hard part is Marvel has kind of conditioned us to believe or expect certain things so much so that I was like, oh, they're going to jump this Earth into a different timeline and then they're going to have to deal with some other whatever, and that's going to bring them into the MCU. But it wasn't. It was just like, well, okay, that plan kind of failed. This kind of failed. We're sending him. When it was over, I kept wondering where the twist was. Like you said, like
Yeah.
where's the gotcha moment, and it
Yeah.
wasn't.
I mean, I will say that in the comics, there was something that happened that pushed Galactus from one universe to another, and he showed up in a universe that he didn't belong in. And
Yeah.
so I almost expect to see Galactus in a future MCU movie,
Mm.
in the mainline timeline, because he doesn't belong there. He belongs in the Fantastic Four's universe, but because they just pushed him away, they just
Yeah.
teleported him somewhere else, and they were really nondescript. They were like, "This is a problem for 5,000 years from now."
Yeah.
And so they didn't really deal with the problem. They just pushed it off. But like, where did they actually send him? I don't know. Maybe they sent him to another universe.
Yeah. Because at first they said it would be like, oh, thousands or millions of years for him to reach here again. It's like, oh, talk about pushing your problems off. Strange. Speaking of
Yeah.
strange, we didn't get any portals, and this is not the Mister. This is not the Fantastic Four Reed Richards that shows up in Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, which was a madness movie.
No. Yeah.
You know the Marvel comics. You know they're all coming back in Secret Wars. No, Doomsday. That's the first one.
Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah.
And Secret Wars. We get the post credit scene that if you haven't seen it, folks, you're late. Just, you know what? Here you go. This is coming
Just
at
go.
the end of August. We see the cape and the faceplate of Doctor Doom with the baby.
Yeah.
What does this mean? I mean, we kept saying the country wasn't there at their big UN meetings, fake UN,
Yeah. Yeah.
Latveria. Okay, is this how we're gonna pull it all in? Anyways, it's hard having to wait. I will say, especially with this latest phase, because nothing has hit like Endgame and the rest of it. That we're all just kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, have we set ourselves up to expect too much? Probably. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know though. I don't know. Because like here's the deal. When we first saw Thanos in that post credit scene for the first Avengers movie,
Oh yeah,
I knew exactly where it was going. Okay.
yeah.
I've read Secret Wars. I know exactly where they're going. I know exactly what they're going to do. Of course, Doctor Doom had because Doctor Doom is very, very important in that storyline.
Hmm.
They're just like swapping out a couple of characters because we don't have Molecule Man. Instead of Molecule Man,
Oh,
we've got Nathan Richards. Nathan, yeah, I think that's his name.
okay.
We got the kid, the baby.
Okay. Yes. Oh yeah. What was it? Was it Nathan?
I think it's Nathan. We
Cut.
got Nathan Richards.
Yeah. Yes. Nathaniel Nathan Richards.
Yeah. So
Anyways,
I'm happy to give you some context for where we're going.
let's have a little You know what
if
though?
that's what you
Here's what I'll
need.
say. I
Yeah.
don't want to sit and watch a 30-minute YouTube explainer right now. I know I could, but
So I'll give it
just
to you.
tease
I'll
the
give it to you in
audience.
yeah, I'll give it to you in 5 minutes. So basically, here's what we learned in Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. At the very end, when Clea, who's Charlize Theron's character, comes in and
Hmm.
she's like, "Your meddling has created an incursion," and blah 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 blah, and we need to go stop these things. I don't know why they haven't touched on incursions again because incursions are such important pieces of the Secret Wars storyline. So
Yeah.
basically, in the comics, they have this huge run called Time Runs Out, which is just a phenomenal run. Brian Michael Bendis, phenomenal run in the Marvel comics, where you get the multiverse, which are just like, you got all these, they're like stacked like cards, lined up right next to each other. And then imagine, something happens and two universes run into each other, create an
Hmm.
incursion, and the collision of two universes annihilates both of them.
Oh, interesting.
And so then you get a void space in the card shuffle, in the deck of the multiverse. You
Hmm.
get a void space where two universes used to be. And then what that does is that brings in the universes and it collapses and it just creates this cascading wave of universes creating incursions all throughout the multiverse, eliminating universes, annihilating them. And so you existed in a multiverse where you had infinite potential. And then you just have this runaway cascading domino effect of universes annihilating each other. And then it all comes down to two universes left because there were things that they could do to prevent their universe from being annihilated. Like if you destroyed the other universe that was doing an incursion with yours, you could live and they would die. And so then it was just like it would just all come down to two universes and they had to fight. And Doctor Doom knew that this was happening and he basically stole these godlike powers from these cosmic beings
Hmm.
and created Battle World, which is like a patchwork world of all these different worlds
Okay. Yeah.
in order that he could save reality so that reality didn't just annihilate, right? And
Yeah.
so Doctor Doom did this like he was like I'm the only one who's brave enough, big enough to do this impossible task, which is to do something that could potentially be very villainous to save all of reality.
Yeah.
And so like, and in the comics, they use Molecule Man as he was kind of a universal constant. So there was always a Molecule Man in every universe.
Hmm.
And something about his powers, Doctor Doom was able to do to like weave together this like cosmic reality that like made him a god basically. And so
Okay.
instead of Molecule Man, they're clearly going to do it with Nathan Richards, the kid who has
Yeah.
the power cosmic, which is just this like MacGuffin of a superpower that enables you to do anything that you need to do. And so
Okay.
Doctor Doom, who's one part technology, one part Doctor Strange. It's like if Doctor Strange and Iron Man had a baby who was also evil, that would be Doctor Doom. So he's
Uh-huh.
like magic and technology. He's very
Uh,
clearly going to abscond with Nathan Richards to use his power to prevent the incursions from happening and to unify the multiverse into one universe.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is some excitement there. I
Oh
had
yeah.
thought I was like, is this where there's the hidden aliens, and then we got this situation, and Spider-Man's in a black suit fighting somebody else? I thought it was like Civil War Part Two. That's not the case.
I mean, there's certainly going to be some of that because I
Yeah.
think what they're doing is they're setting up obviously the Fox titles with the X-Men. Like, I don't know how if you've heard much about the
Oh, I
casting
saw
for
James
Doomsday, but it's
Marsden's
like
talking about it. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
so you get all those X-Men guys.
yeah.
So there's very likely going to be an Avengers versus X-Men
Okay.
aspect to this because that was a run in the comics too, where it was the Avengers versus the X-Men,
Oh my gosh.
where it feels like the incursions are going to eliminate every universe except for the main Marvel universe that we've been following and
Hmm.
Fox's X-Men universe. And that those are going to be the two universes left, and they have to fight it out to be the universe that remains. But what will happen instead is that you get Doctor Doom or whoever ends up usurping the power cosmic, makes some huge godlike sacrifice, and then unifies the universes. And so there's actually just one universe instead of a multiverse.
So you would literally have Fantastic Four, X-Men, and I won't even say Thor, but Spider-Man, the
The
rest of them,
Hulk,
all in the
yeah,
same. The Hulk, all in the
all in the
same
same
universe.
universe. Yeah.
Wow.
Granted, a lot of
Okay.
people are going to die in the process because they
For
have to
sure.
recast. Like you can't have Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are going to die at some point.
Yeah, they,
You
if they
can't have
haven't
them
already.
keep being their people, and so like at some point they're going to recast a lot of these characters. But that's the point because in the comics, their whole multiverse thing had just gotten so unwieldy
Hmm.
that they did the whole Secret Wars thing as in an effort to try and reunify and reboot their canon.
Got it. So it's literally an on-screen cleaning of the slate for
Yes.
so much. Okay.
Yeah. And
Got it.
Doctor Doom is really, really, really crucial to it in the comics. And so I have a lot of hope and optimism for where the story is going.
Okay.
Because, take it away from a Kang thing and make it a Doctor Doom thing. Like, I don't know why they didn't just start with Doctor Doom to begin with.
Got it.
I
Yeah.
just, especially if they knew they were going towards Secret Wars, they should have been Doctor Doom to begin with. But it feels like, I mean, to pull it back into production, it feels like Marvel has their feet back under them. They
Yeah.
know what they're doing. They've tightened the ship back up, especially with Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four are just demonstrations that Marvel is back to making movies.
Yeah.
Even though the Fantastic Four lacked some character development and some growth and some like real character driven plot, it still is a good movie.
Yeah.
Still worth watching.
Still was fun. I saw it at my work theater. They have a huge Dolby Atmos system, not even Atmos, some Dolby sound system in a smaller theater at our location on Wilshire. And I'm going to tell you what, the sound was too much. They had it a little bit cranked up. So I was just blasted in the ears with some of the special effects moments and action sequences. But it was great. And not seeing Reed Richards like actually use his flexible powers much until he gets pulled like a string cheese was a little bit
Yeah.
weird. I was like, whoa, okay. And Pedro felt a little like he was like ready to cry in every scene. It was a little bit much, but
Yeah.
for this character, I understand the characterization. They made it clear who each person was and why. Great. Natasha Lyonne being the love interest of the Thing, that's fun too. I'm like, you know what? Okay. We got some good pieces here, even if it wasn't 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right. Well, resident comic book expert Madison Daniels here to clear up what we need to clear up and to talk about Superman. If anyone hasn't, you need to see Superman. So go see it in theaters. It's probably still playing. And then catch Superman and Fantastic Four on VOD or streaming soon. But again, if they're in theaters, pay a couple bucks on a Tuesday and go see them. They're both worth your time in a theater.
Yes.
And with that, thank you again for listening. We'll have another episode coming up in just a couple days. And until then, watch good movies and TV.